Welcome to Hotline 21. I'm your host, Bruce Jackson, and today we've got a great show for you. And as you remember, the last time we talked about food deserts and the problems that food deserts cause: diabetes, hypertension, obesity. Now we have solutions, and we're going to meet some great guests. And let me introduce our guests to you. Angela Taylor.
Hello.
It's a pleasure for you to be here.
Thank you.
And Sam Taylor.
Hello.
It's a pleasure for you to be here. And they're going to talk about what they've been doing to rid the West Side communities of food deserts. And first, what I want to do is let's look at what they've been doing already in the community. So without further delay, we're going to look at what they've been doing in the community, and we're going to talk more about it, and we're going to hear from our audience out there.
Good afternoon. I'm Angela Taylor.
I'm Taylor.
And we work with the Garfield Park Community Council, supporting the Garfield Park Garden Network team. And we're here today at the Fulton Street Flower and Vegetable Garden Greenhouse. My husband and I live in the house next door to this garden, where we house a community greenhouse, and we grow fruits, vegetables, and flowers for the community neighborhood market. We moved in the house in 2004, and since that time, we've been working toward making a difference in the food desert in the community where we live. Vegetables that we grow here at Fulton, along with other community gardens here in Garfield, we collaborate and pull our produce together and present a food market, a farmer's market at the corner of Kenzie and Lake, what is now known the Garfield Park Neighborhood Market at the Hatchery. Okay, one of the ways that we combat living in the food desert here in Garfield Park is that we grow our own food.
Here in the greenhouse, we try to grow year-round by using solar. We have 4 grids that we install to get a greenhouse light and heat, and we could grow vegetables all year round, cold season vegetables, and then into the summer we go right on into the summer with growing summer hot food.
Haven't quite got it down to a science. As my husband and I are still experimenting to see what and how we can grow more robustly in the wintertime, but we look to grow what we are able to and utilize it to the benefit again of the community. Of us having a community gardens is our vending, having our neighborhood market is to generate an income to sustain the community gardens. So how we're going right now in this early March, getting ready to have a robust produce stand come June, is so that the revenues can roll back. We can replenish our soil, we can purchase seeds, and start the propagation process all over again.
At the end of the year, when we put the garden to bed, everything all the seeds that we can recycle, we recycle them and we use them next year. That cut down on our costs, and we can move further by buying other stuff, more soil, more tools, stuff that we need in the garden. So yeah, I'm happy that we got this greenhouse. We're fortunate to got this greenhouse. It's really sustainability to us to support all the garden that we have in the garden network. As we As we're walking over here, as we can see, we have kale. We have these are tomato, big boy tomatoes. Over here we have a variety of peppers because this is like a 320 count. So we have bell pepper, we have habanero pepper, we have chili pepper, we have red hot pepper, we have jalapeno peppers. And over here we have a tray of celery. And it takes a long time for the celery to grow, so we had to get it started. It takes like over 105 days before it starts to generate. But as you can see, it's coming up. And down below we have kale, 2 trays of kale. We have marigold, which is a flower. Up here we have tomatoes, Swiss chard. We grow during the wintertime, and we have a winter market. Some of the stuff that we can take to the winter market and to sell, to get the garden sustainability, to put the garden back together by buying soil and stuff that we need in the garden to keep the garden going.
Used to be where did all the fresh food go? You know they poison our rain and snow. Oh mercy, mercy me. Whoa.
That was very interesting what you all did in Garfield. One of the questions that I have: how much work is it involved when you're doing something like that in the community?
Lots of work. It's like has to come from a special place of passion, because growing vegetables or growing flowers or growing anything, it takes the same type of things it would take as if though you were raising a child, and want that child to grow to what the end goal is. And what the end goal is with food. First, you want to start it in a healthy medium, get it up and growing, take care of it, feed it so that it's nutritious, and then you want to eat it. So that's the end goal for fruits and vegetables. And flowers for the beautification. Mm-hmm. Most flowers are annual that you see beautiful around during the summer season. And you want to take care of all of these things just like you would a family member. And that's kind of how we see our garden.
Now, let me ask you this. You have a very large garden. In fact, you had one in the greenhouse, and you had a garden outside the greenhouse, and then there was another garden down the street. How many, if you could categorize it like this, how many families could a garden like that feed?
100, depending on what you grow. Some produce, vegetables produce more. Peppers can produce in the hundreds every season, and I would say the growing season would be from May through November. And if you're producing greens, they continue to grow through October, November. Tomatoes, pretty much depending on the climate, the weather, can go through September, October for a final harvest for those. Carrots, you can produce those until the ground freezes.
Wow.
So with having those just 4 or 5 items that I named as a nutritional item to pair on the dinner table, you can make a robust meal for about 100 families in those spaces.
Wow, wow. And with the your harvest times, when are they during the year?
We have a rotating harvest.
Okay.
We pick it when it's ready. Normally for a regular season where we live here in Chicago, I would anticipate mid-June would be a first harvest. And that would be for cool weather stuff. We may have some heads of cabbage, some collard greens, some lettuces of variety, and probably some radish.
Kale.
And you said kale?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kale. Onion.
Now, onion. I've never been a farmer. My dad was a farmer. Never been a farmer myself. But I hear onion is grows pretty robustly.
Yeah, and it'll volunteer and come back. You know, when we first moved in the house and started the garden, it was a cleanup first, and then periodically we moved around to restore it and make it a happy place for things to grow in. And I kept finding these onions in the garden. And of course, they were volunteer onions, but yeah, I did use them. They had beautiful scallion ends on them, and I'd take them in their kitchen and wash them and stuff them up inside of a chicken, roll it up in the oven, and voila.
You know you're making me hungry.
I think I may be talking about food because I'm hungry.
Now, the onion, is it, because it grows so robustly, you got the white onion, the red onion, is it any particular onion or it just grows, whatever onion you're planting?
Onion tends to be perennial. And when I say perennial, that means it has the strength to reproduce itself after a winter. Okay. So if we planted onion seeds, or if we planted onion bulbs into the garden and we did not harvest them all in the season, they're all along the perimeter of the bed, you may have missed a fruit. One of the things that you will see coming back to life and is an indicator that spring has arrived is those little onion shoots coming up. And
nice.
You know that spring is here because things are moving down in that.
A little indicator.
Yes.
Okay, nice, great. Another question. We know we have a food desert on the south and west side of Chicago. People see the foul problem. Very few do anything about it. How did you get started? What motivated you to say, listen, I'm going to do something about this food desert?
I think for us, the opportunity presented itself. My father was a farmer from the South. My husband's family was farmers from the South. And when we moved in our house, there was an installed garden that had not been maintained for a few years. So it presented itself as an opportunity to start growing some stuff. Then the realization kind of came in about the great need that it was. And we wasn't actually in a destitute desert at that time. We did have some jewels in the community. Okay. But once the jewels went away, we were left with nothing. And a collaborative of us got together with grant funding in 2008 as President Obama was going into office, and we were able to partner with our community organization, that's the Garfield Park Community Council, and install community gardens across the community, partnering them with block clubs and residents and churches to maintain and manage. We hosted workshops so that we could share our knowledge and learn more about what it would actually take to grow produce. And we've just forged forward all the way to the point that this year we're starting and we'll be hosting our neighborhood market, which is what you see in most neighborhoods in downtown on the Daily Plaza, just on a smaller community scale.
Okay. Would you be willing to expand your garden?
Of course.
Great.
With help, of course. Because it's required. I think our garden network is fortunate that in the past years we've been able to receive some private funding where we've been able to host up to 10 young people to start them on that horticultural route of teaching them how to grow seeds, how to plant the seedlings, how to maintain them, and how to harvest, all the way to the point of giving them the opportunity to learn how to host the neighborhood market, which teaches them some entrepreneurial skills
Excellent.
of what they
Excellent.
can do
Excellent.
with the produce that we grow.
Now, for a volunteer who wants to come or a student wants to come and learn that kind of information, how long is the courses, and tell us a bit more about that.
Well, there are several initiatives here in Chicago, and I can name them. There is Neighbor Space that protects vacant lots in the city, so that if communities invested in creating growing spaces that potentially can become growing spaces forever. They host a series of workshops to help groom new and older gardeners on how to maintain and keep their site. Then there's the Chicago Community Garden Association, where they host an annual event to allow gardeners to come together and have workshops on various subject matters: how to start a garden 101, recycling, your composting, those type of things. This year, our garden theme, our conference theme was adapting to climate change, as we know that we are rapidly moving into climate change, and what type of things can we do to be better stewards of our earth. And then there's Open Lands, and they're one of the bigger organizations. They do tree keeping, how to prune trees, so they would grow properly and produce multitude of fruits from them. Just naming those fruit organizations, those are places that you can Google and find when they're having workshops and reach out to have some assistance with growing yourself as a gardener.
Wow, thank you for that wealth of information. A lot of people like to Google, but I'm telling you, Angela, I just like to talk to you because you like way better than Google. Way better than Google. So, but let me ask you, said something when you were talking, when you was giving us this information, climate change. How has climate change, or if climate change has impacted your garden, and if so, how so?
Well, it's mid-April right now as we're sitting here, and it's still cold. Okay, so that's impactful. Normally around this time we would be setting our seedlings out to get them started, but the forecast is suggesting that we may have some snow in the next couple of days. And like I said, our seedlings are just like our children. We want to give them and place them in a place to give them the best opportunity to grow and meet their end goal in life. And if we set some of this stuff out in the cold, it's going to freeze and it will not thrive.
Right.
So that's one way that I'm hoping that people would be able to relate to, that indicates the effect that climate change has in the gardening setting.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And that comes from doing it. And it's like normally when you talk to, we had some people to come in and talked about food deserts. If they're not doing it, they don't have that information. And I applaud you for doing it, because it's not a theory, it's a fact.
Yeah, I can say without Mr. T sitting here next to me, and he is one from the A-team, it would probably be much more difficult than it is. Both of us are retirees. A lot of the dedication to the work is to grow communities and educating communities around food and what we can do right in our own homes, in a flower pot right on our back porch to help produce something that's healthy and edible. But Mr. Taylor tends to devote a majority of his time to the greenhouse work and the maintenance of the community garden, which is much needed.
And I got to tell you, what you were doing in there with the solar and the way you had those plants growing, which we saw in the film, you were doing a phenomenal job. And I, just hats off to what you guys are doing. But I want to, with the limited time we have, I want to go into something that is what you guys have done, and I would like for you to kind of go through it. And we have a map here that I would like for you to share this information with what we're looking at to the public. And what I was kind of taken back about was the lifespans when people have poor diets. And if you can kind of walk us through it, and I'm gonna put it up, and you can use my pen, and you can just explain what they're looking at.
2 years ago, our organization, Mr. Garfield Park Community Council, was privileged, I would say, to be engaged with the study from the medical community. When I'm saying the medical community, I'm talking about the top scale hospitals that participate where we go when we get sick. Rush, Sinai, Presence, those type of hospital built a collaboration, and they reached down into the West Side communities to have conversations with residents about what they could do to be impactful to hopefully over the next 10 to 20 years reduce the life gap. If you're looking at this map,
let me zoom in where you at, where you want to go to.
If you zoom in on this map, you will see these little hearts.
Let me go closer to right there, so you can see it right there.
There are these little hearts, and they're numbers inside of these little hearts. And what these numbers indicate, I think I'm gonna move over here and maybe we can follow this track.
Okay.
This would be the Lake Street green line.
Okay.
And this would be the loop area all the way coming through to Austin. Mm-hmm. And in the loop area, there is a decent robust number of 72, which is the life expectancy of a person living in the West Loop area.
Wow.
I want to say over here is 85, and that's in the loop area. Everything is prime there. But as you travel west, we drop to a 72. As we move into the community that we're discussing, which is Garfield, that number drops to 69. That means that if you are living in a loop area, you can live to 85 years or longer. But if you move up to Garfield, your life expectancy by a number of different reasons moves down to 69.
That's a drastic drop.
That's a drastic drop. Even from the West Loop and moving out of Garfield back to Austin, that number goes back up to 72.
And let me just echo this fact while you're doing this. We're talking about the life expectancies. This is not something abstract. This is a person's actually the time when they would die, their life expectancy. I don't mean to cut you off, but I want them to know
that's a very important fact, and thank you for really pulling that out. So the purpose of this map can be impactful, which it is intended to be. These maps are now placed around all of the 9 West Side communities that are listed out here. And residents from all of these areas came together with the medical community to talk about various strategies that can be implemented to help bring this life expectancy gap down.
Absolutely.
Or bring it up.
Bring it up.
Bring it up.
Because we can see it can be up because you just pointed out.
85 in the loop.
Exactly. 85
69 in Garfield.
Wow. 85 in the loop, 69 in Garfield. That's
a big drop.
Yeah, that's chilling.
Yeah.
That's chilling.
Yes. And then when you look at the various reasons why, we know that first, food desert, we are not privy to get the best things to eat where we can secure them within our own community. We have to travel outside of our communities. We got an 82 over here in South Lawndale. Okay, we got an 82 over here in South Lawndale. We have to travel outside of our community in order to secure good, healthy, robust produce. All with the exception of the second Saturday between June and October when they can meet us at Cassian Lake and purchase some fresh produce from our collective. But distracted. Then there's the ratio of violence, which is impactful in our community as well. The economics, the low rate of unemployment, that's impactful as well. So all of these ingredients is what reduces this number from the loop to 69.
Right.
But this Westside United, Building Blocks to a Better Health, hopes to be impactful and to make an impact and make a difference in our community. I've worked with a lot of organizations or institutions that have come into the community, sat down with residents and talked about what they're going to do and then go away. But I can say about this initiative, the Westside United, they seem like they're here to stay. They want to keep residents at the table for us, by us. It's the best solution.
You know what? You need more gardens.
If there was a garden on every block, violence reduction, drug sale reduction, because where our garden is, those were issues that we met coming in. Drive-by drug sales, okay? Now that the garden is there, it's a peaceful block. Our seniors can sit out in the summer and enjoy the nice weather. And it's activity. People are engaged. If there was one on every block or one on every other block, it would drastically reduce the food deficit that lives in Garfield Park.
Let me ask you this, and I mean, I know I've seen you and your husband work at this garden, and it blew me away just seeing it. I mean, whatever. And I want to even go over to Sam, and I want you to start telling me how you did the solar and how you were working that greenhouse. That was phenomenal. But I got to ask you this first, Angela. A garden on every block. How would you spearhead that, and would you spearhead the council to do that in not only in Garfield, what you've done already, but in Lawndale and South Lawndale and in North Lawndale and even on the south side in Inglewood?
Well, I want to be very clear and not take all kudos as if though this is something new and has not been seen. In these communities across the West Side, Lawndale, Humboldt Park, and Austin, these initiatives are thriving. There are groups that are working to what I'm going to call bridge the communities through greening. Even on the south side in Inglewood and High Park, there are initiatives and groups that are working again to bridge community through greening. It's just a process that has to evolve to become a reality across the city. We hosted the Chicago Community Garden Association's 7th annual conference on the 30th of March, and we had over 200 attendees from across Chicago, from the far north to the far south side. Unfortunately, in the Loop area, is not a lot of open space that lends itself for growing and greening. They just seem to haul stuff in there. But across the city, out in our more remote areas, we're able to spearhead these initiatives through greening organizations. The Austin Green team are there. The Humboldt Park Greening Association. The Lawndale, what is Dr. Isfield's group? The North Lawndale Greening Council.
Great.
So they are initiatives, and we find ourselves to be a community across the city that lends support and help to each other. Again, I want to coin that phrase, to bridge greening throughout the city through those initiatives.
Wow. Okay. Okay, great. Sam, let me ask you this. How successful is the solar for the greenhouse?
Well, the solar is excellent. It gives us get the greenhouse a lot of energy for growing, for light and sucking fan that we need to circulate the air and stuff in the greenhouse. And it really, it's cut down on cost. We don't have to use ComEd. We can use the solar.
Right.
And that's money in our pocket that we can use for other resources that we trying to do in the community for helping community garden to get started and stuff like that. So, and we do the greenhouse, bring all the community, some of the community together to have community garden. We let them use the greenhouse to start their seedling, so to help them up and running, get their seed ready for time to get their garden started. So that's a big save to the community, and they can use that funding to buy more seed, buy more plant, install more beds in their garden, more soil that they can get, and they don't have to be worried about trying to put a light together to grow their food, so they can use the community greenhouse. And it's been really up and going, and I think most of the community have been using it. It's been really happy.
Wow. So you use the greenhouse is a great vessel for seeding. So if you can get more vegetables.
Yeah, you can start your seedling there. I mean, you don't have to go to Home Depot and buy a pack of seed for $3.99 when you can get a pack of seed for $1.
And a seed swap.
and then you can grow 72 seedling out of one pack of seed.
Wow.
Instead of going to Home Depot and paying $4.99, $3.99 for one plant. You could buy 2 packs of seeds.
Ooh, that is great. That is great. So we need more. We need more greenhouses.
We need more greenhouse. We need more greenhouse. I mean, it's help. You can prepare yourself. You can get your garden started on time, because you can start like in January. They got cool crop, hot crop, and you can get those things started.
Well, Angela, I know it's only one of you, and Sam, I know it's only one of you, but we can't clone you. So we're gonna have to you all just gonna have to we're gonna have to put another hour in a day so we can hear more of what you guys are doing.
Well, we have an open door policy to anyone across the community, and we're easy to find. We're easy to find. We do have that open door policy, and the knowledge that we have is not a selfish knowledge. It's a knowledge that we want to share, just like we do the seedlings that we grow in the greenhouse. We want to share with as many that are interested and have the desire.
Now, I'm looking over here, and I see that Sam has Garfield Park brochure, and
Yes,
can we put that up?
Sure.
Yeah, put this up here. Okay, and you can tell us what we're looking at. When I get it up here.
This is our current flyer that's being circulated and posted for our Garfield Park Neighborhood Market. Right now, we will be selling seedlings, flower and vegetable, small tomato plants, pepper plants, and some annual flower seedlings at our neighborhood market. And we host it along with other community entrepreneurs that are food related, as well as other entrepreneurs. We have some entrepreneurs in our West Side community that make some beautiful beauty products, lotions and lip balms and bath oils. We're actually, this Saturday, we'll be hosting a market at 135 North Kedzie at the Hatchery, and we will be introducing Earth Science product, which is a vegan and a vegetarian beauty care product. Sometimes our beauty care products have some oils that are derived from animal fats. These products that this group produces have none of that in it. So anybody, if they're available, I would suggest that you come by 135 North Kedzie on Saturday between 10 and 2 and visit our Westside entrepreneurs so that you will be able to assist us by supporting our garden network with the sales from these events.
Okay, and you will be there.
Oh, definitely.
And you will be there, Sam?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, we'll be looking for you all. We'll be looking for you. Because I'm just really excited, especially meeting the two of you. I mean, really, I'm just really excited meeting the two of you, and I just wish I could have spent more time with you all in the greenhouse. And I mean, just looking at it, it was so much to learn. We were there for, I don't know, maybe a little over an hour. And when I walked away, I saw Sam showing us that was the seating when you had those trays.
Yes.
That was the seating, right?
Right.
We just glanced. It was just a brief moment in time, and I know that you didn't even share with us a fraction of what was happening over there in those trays.
Or what's to come.
Yeah.
Because those trays be transplanted into a bigger tray, and then those bigger trays will be transplanted out into the garden, and then she'll put her real After 5 dress on and show up in the community. Because once that garden is grown up and robust, I look at her like a girl. She has to prep herself from the seedling, has to grow into maturity, being planted into the garden. And then once she's fruiting, she's robust then, she's mature enough, and she's ready again to meet that end goal, to be eaten.
Yes. And let me just tell them about our health really quick, and we're going to come right back. If you want to get tested, for any of the STDs, HIV, even hypertension and diabetes. Yes, we're doing HIV and of the STDs, as well as hypertension and diabetes. You are to come to Gift House at 1309 South Kedzie, right here in Chicago. Or you have any questions about that, you can drop us a line at the Gift House at sbcglobal.net. If you have any other issues with the diabetes and you want to just read more about it, you can look us up on the web, www.thegifthouse.org. All testing, condoms, prophylactics are free. And we're going to come back and we're having a great discussion about solutions to food deserts with Angela Taylor and Sam Taylor. We're back with Angela Taylor and Sam Taylor. So how often would you be doing this, the Garfield Park Neighborhood Market at the Hatchery?
The Garfield Park Neighborhood Market will be hosted on the second Saturday, and we will run from this upcoming second Saturday all the way through October. Great. In June, we will be moving our market outside onto the People Plaza at the Hatchery at 135 North Kedzie, and we hope to engage the community by presenting ourselves collectively. Just a moment to speak on the Hatchery. The Hatchery is a new entrepreneur food and beverage incubator for startup business in the food and beverage industry. It is spank brand new to the Garfield Park community. She is less than 4 months old, open.
Wow.
And the Garfield Park Neighborhood Market is very happy to be a part of that development, to spur economic development in our community. We find the Hatchery to be a good community partner, and we're looking to do great things with them on the People Plaza at 135 North Kedzie.
Now, I had a chance to go to the hatchery, and that's how I even learned about you. And they spoke very highly of you. Can you tell us, with the time we have, about what the hatchery does, how does it impact the community? If you will?
I see the Hatchery, which is a joint venture between Axion and ICNC in the industrial corridor here in Chicago that grows businesses. Axion is a financial lender, untraditional financial lender. So where you may go to a traditional bank to ask for a loan to start up your business and make it turn down because you're not squeaky clean, you may be able to go to Axion and work with their technicians and get yourself qualified so you can get your business kicked off. Now, also what's housed at the Hatchery is the Hatchery Chicago, and that's the entrepreneurial arm for food and beverage incubators. They have our shared kitchen space. They have small kitchens for leasing, medium kitchens for leasing, and large kitchens for leasing. So say you're that caterer that just don't fit in the kitchen with 2 other people cooking, there's a big small kitchen space that you'll be able to lease to develop those catering jobs that you have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times a month.
So we're talking about small community businesses having a place to go, and they can actually promote their business in a clean, healthy environment.
In a clean, healthy environment and build their toolbox. What I find often in my community is that we have great entrepreneurs in the food industry, but those moms and aunts and uncles are preparing those products in their own personal residential kitchen. They don't have the certifications that are required to even produce and sell. What the Hatchery Chicago does is provide that technical support to make sure that you get all your ducks lined up in a row, and when it's time for you to have a built-out restaurant or catering business or cooking warehouse, you will have all the things that you need in that toolbox to make sure that you're able to be a legitimate business.
Now, you said something there that just turned my light on, Angela. You talked about a person sitting at home in their home and they're cooking in their home. May not be the best place to prepare food if you're going to give it to the public.
Correct.
Does the Hatchery have a place where they can learn how to prepare the food, like a class that they can go to?
Well, they do provide classes in business build out. But they will be opening in the next few weeks, if not early in the next month, the Rick Bayless Culinary School that will be targeted for young folks in the community between the ages of 15 and 24 to get on the expedited track, to get that culinary training that they need and those basic certifications where they can move into 5-star restaurants and work in those kitchens and really learn how to build out a true business.
And that's right on the west side of Chicago. Give us that address.
135 North Kedzie, right at the Kedzie Green Line stop on the Green Line L, right in the Garfield Park community.
And that's if they want to start getting into a community business that can grow into something even greater. And if they want to learn about how to start their garden, going back to community gardens, tell us where you are. where they can come to your garden and see?
Okay, we're located at 4427 West Fulton Street in Garfield Park in Chicago, Illinois. We're there. I work with the Garfield Park Community Council. Again, Google is your friend. You can Google, you can get my email address, you can get my phone number, and feel free to reach out to me. And you may wake up one morning and see an email in your email box where I've responded, because I take pride in responding to people that reach out. So I'm up early, like at 5:30, looking through my email, making sure that folks that are reaching out are being responded to.
Can you give us your email so that we can, if they have any questions about the Garfield Park
Community Council,
Community
and
Council
I'm
in the
there
garden?
work with it. Yes, my email address is my first name, Angela, at gpcommunitycouncil.org.
Excellent, excellent. And we'll be able to get the both of you there because you have a wealth of information that you told me, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to get more into it, because you were showing me about how you had set up your solar and how you were doing the seeding, and we only had a brief amount of time, and I know I'm gonna get, just from the viewers, they're gonna hit me with a bunch of questions. I'm gonna send. That's why I want them to have your email address, because I want you to answer that information.
Well, we again have an open door policy, and Bruce, you know you're welcome to come back anytime.
You know what? You are a wealth, Angela. You are a wealth of information. It's not enough time. I need another lifetime to get all the information that I can get out of you. You know.
We just started our chicken.
Oh yes. I think you left a week after our chickens. We have 7 chickens, laying hens. So we look forward in the next couple of months to have some egg production. And I know somebody on your team, Bruce, is really going to be happy about securing some fresh eggs.
Well, you know, we're gonna have, you know, because I told you when we first met, and you know what? The people at I told them they're gonna come on the show and talk about it, but they were like just crazy about you. When I was at the Hatchery, they were saying, you gotta meet Angela Taylor. And I heard your name like about 15, 20 times. I was like, who? I didn't even know who Angela Taylor was. I thought she was like some type of singer, Angela. I thought she was like, she must sing like the blues or jazz or something. You know, I got to meet this Angela Taylor. And I heard, and I just dropped everything. And finally, when I got there and I met you, I just had to, like, after I got in the car and I was driving, and finally I got back to the office, I just had to get like a breath of release. I just blew it all out. I was like, wow, I met Angela Taylor. You are something. You really, no, seriously.
Yeah, they said
The two of you are like, I mean, the energy that I felt, like, I just like, wow. And I can't get enough. I can't get enough.
It happens.
I can't get enough.
And it's not like we don't know. It happens.
Yeah, I mean, really. And when I saw what you guys were doing, and Sam, you got up on the roof and you put them solar panels in. I know you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. You know, I know you got, and what you guys are doing for the community, we have just starting the Chicago Icons. And those are people who have done businesses in the community, even political figures like Jesse Jackson, Louis Farrakhan, icons. And for our first icon, I want you guys to be on it, because you guys are icons. You know, you guys are icons, and I want Chicago to know about it. You know, you guys are real people that's doing real things that are impacting the communities of color and beyond. And people can learn from what you all are doing. You know, and this is your time, and I want I want them to see what you all are doing, because you can see other shows on television, but they're not real, and they call them reality shows. No, what you're doing is reality. This is reality, and it's real. And whatever we can do to support what you're doing and what you're talking about doing here, and I'm gonna put it back up. What you're talking about doing here, we're gonna be there and we're gonna support it because it's real, and we need to have that in our community to grow. And we talk about so many negative things happening in our community.
Yes, we
And
do.
here, this is something positive, and it's real, and what you all are doing in the community. And when I saw those life expectancies, it gave me a chill, Angela. Sam, it gave me a chill.
That's real.
It's real, and it's somebody's life that's being impacted by that. Let me just keep zooming in right there. That's the best side for it. And you're going to be there. This gives our guests and viewers a chance to meet you all, to see what you're doing, and to see how they can improve their community, especially in communities of color, where you have high rates of low life expectancies, where the food isn't there in the community because they've got juicy juice and flaming hot.
Yes.
That's the diet.
Yeah.
That's the diet. Not what you're talking about. You're talking about that kale, and you're talking, and collard greens.
Kale chips instead of some flaming hot.
Hey, say it again.
Kale chips.
Okay, versus flaming hot.
Yes, yeah.
And you know where your food comes from because you actually grew the food in your own community.
Took care of it and
Yes.
know what's in it and know the nutritional impact it could have. If we ate better, then we would think better, and then we would act better.
Mm-hmm.
But because we're so inundated with so much junk and garbage, that leaves us in this position to be acting all erratic, like you see everybody everywhere doing all this crazy stuff, because they're not healthy.
You're right. They're not healthy. And that's why we're dying. That's why we're dying. And it's sad to say because even Gift House, we're over in Lawndale, and that's our number. 69.
Yeah.
69. Yep. And there's no reason for that. There's no reason that, good people are dying at 69. We should be able to live to 85. Who wouldn't want to live to 85 or more?
I know, I do.
And same here.
Yeah.
Same here. But we're fighting with diabetes, hypertension, obesity. And here you all are providing a real solution to these problems that are just really taking the life out of people every day.
Every day.
And so I want to commend you for that. And I also want to give kudos. I mean, more kudos to the Hatchery and what they're doing, and the fact that you guys teamed up. How did that happen? How did you, if you could just give us a brief synopsis with the time we have, how did that happen when you decided to, say, hey, I'm gonna hook up with the other anchors in the community, and we're gonna do, we're gonna form together the A team.
Well, the Hatchery development team, Axion, and the Industrial Corridor of Northwest Chicago approached the Garfield Park Community Council, which is a community building organization. Firstly, the work that I do is just one of the programs that come out of this organization. We do work in housing and community out organizing as well. representative from the Hatchery development team, I'm not going to say your name, Mary friend, came to meet us at one of our staff meetings, and she presented what they thought could happen on the corner of Cassie and Lake. Where the hatchery is standing right now is where we initiated and started our neighborhood market. So it was like we had this really drug infested, open air prostitution, if you name it, it was going on right in public, right on that corner, and us as a gardening group spearheaded to go in and take back that corner for the community. So of course, initially when they came and said, we want to build a hatchery, it was like, not on this corner. We've put in the sweat equity to bring this corner back to the community now here. Y'all go and say y'all gonna take our corner, but being a praying woman and realizing that the work I do is not just about me, it's about the community. It was like a light bulb came on Thanksgiving morning, and I picked that business card up from that representative that came to visit me, and I told her, I'm sorry, but we need to have a conversation so we can get this ball rolling. We have not had anything built in the Garfield Park community that I can think of in decades. So to have a brand new structure built in our community that's coming in to partner to support the community was the best thing that we could do. So we walked along with them through community engagement, helping to sell the product. And now that it is arrived, we are anticipating and we are seeing it. If you come to the neighborhood market on Saturday, you would be able to see all those entrepreneurs from the West Side
They're telling me I got to wrap up. We will be there. We will be there. We will be there. And we are just overjoyed to have Angela, you and your husband, Sam, and we will be there, and we will do everything we would do to support what you guys are doing, because I know it is real. And talk about reality, people, this is reality. Angela is real. She is real, and she is for real. And her husband is real. And they are good people to know. And I want to thank you all for just coming out, and whatever we can do to continue to help you, we will do it. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And good night.